Have you ever launched a marketing campaign only to find out that your sales team is pitching a completely different message to clients? Or maybe HR rolls out an internal initiative that doesn't reflect the brand your customers see. This kind of misalignment might seem like a small hiccup, but it's actually a major threat to your brand's success. When your teams aren't aligned around a shared understanding of your brand, the result is wasted resources, inconsistent messaging, and ultimately a weaker connection with your audience. Today, I'm going to show you why team alignment is so critical, what happens when it's missing, and how to create a cohesive brand strategy that unites every department. So let's get started right now. Let's start with the root cause of misalignment. Why do teams struggle to get on the same page when it comes to the brand? There are three main issues. The first is silos between departments. Marketing, sales, HR, and product teams often operate in isolation. Each department has its own goals and priorities, and without a clear communication, they interpret the brand in different ways. This leads to disjointed messaging and wasted effort. Number two is lack of central brand strategy. Many companies don't have a documented brand strategy that all teams can reference. When there's no clear guidance, employees fill in the gaps with their own assumptions, and those assumptions don't always align. And the third is limited collaboration. Even when teams have the right intentions, they might not have the tools or the opportunities to collaborate effectively. Without regular check-ins or shared platforms, it's easy for teams to drift apart. Now let's talk about the cost of misalignment. What happens when your teams aren't working together under a unified brand strategy? The first is inconsistent messaging. When marketing, sales, and HR each tell a different version of the brand story, it creates confusion. Customers receive mixed messages, which weakens trust and makes brands harder to recognize. The second is wasted resources. Silos lead to duplicated efforts. Teams might create redundant campaigns or materials because they aren't aware of what others are doing. This is an enormous drain on both time and money. And the third is low employee morale. Employees want to feel connected to something bigger than themselves. When there's no shared sense of purpose or clarity about the brand's goals, they become disengaged, and disengaged employees are less productive. So how do you solve this problem? The key is creating alignment through a clear, actionable brand strategy that every team can rally around. Here's how you do it step by step. Step number one, develop a centralized brand strategy document. Start by documenting your brand's purpose, mission, vision, and values. This should serve as a single source of truth that all teams can reference. Include concrete examples of how these principles apply to different departments. For example, how the mission informs marketing campaigns or recruitment efforts. Step number two, host cross-functional workshops. Bring your teams together in collaborative workshops to align on the brand's goals. Use exercises like customer journey mapping or brand storytelling to help each team see how their work contributes to the bigger picture. These sessions are also a great opportunity to identify and address gaps and understanding. Step number three, appoint brand ambassadors in each department. Assign a point person in each team to act as a bridge between the departments. These ambassadors are responsible for ensuring that their team's work aligns with the overall brand strategy and for sharing updates and concerns during cross-functional meetings. Step number four, create a feedback loop. Alignment isn't a one-time event, it's an ongoing process. Set up regular check-ins where teams can share progress, raise questions, and address any misalignment before it becomes a problem. This keeps communication open and proactive. And step number five, measure and monitor alignment. Finally, track metrics to evaluate your progress. For example, you can measure campaign cohesion, lead quality, or employee engagement. Use these insights to make adjustments to keep your teams moving in the same direction. Let's look at Nike as an example of a company that excels at team alignment. Nike's brand is built around the philosophy of just do it. And this mantra isn't just for their customers. It's deeply embedded in their internal culture as well. Every department at Nike knows how their work contributes to the brand's mission of inspiring athletes. Marketing creates campaigns that empower individuals, while product teams focus on innovation that helps customers achieve their goals. Even their HR department uses the Just Do It ethos to attract and retain employees who align with their values. The result is a seamless experience both internally and externally that reinforces the brand's identity at every touch point. Team alignment might not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think about branding, but it's one of the most important. A unified brand strategy ensures that every department is pulling in the same direction, creating a consistent and compelling experience for your customers. If your teams are working in silos or struggling to align with your brand's goals, now is the time to take action. By developing a centralized strategy, fostering collaboration, and creating ongoing feedback loops, you can transform your organization into a well-oiled branding machine.